And today I learned he stayed up all night working on MuseScore. So this is helpful when any of the students put their music into a chart, just to know some of the things we're going to look for. Do you have another copy of this? Because I'm going to write on this.
No, I need to make copies.
Okay. You printed this out, though. You have this on your computer. So I can write on it, right? Beautiful. So right here is where you would like to have a metronome marking. Quarter note equals, 96 maybe.
76.
76? Good. Whichever your marking is going to be.
Okay.
That way they know that. They know what key it's in. If they look at your key signature, you start off and it's in A minor. Okay, so that's not missing. That's good. And then we want to make sure, do you have an introduction? So you want to start your chart with an introduction. Because right here is where you start singing. But they play something before you start singing. What you can usually use is your last 4 measures.
I just wanted like 4 measures of the first 2 chord changes.
But that's not going to put you in the right place. And that's where it would be, right? But
I just wanted to repeat. Like I want those changes to be done, repeated twice. So it's 2 measures, but I want it to be a 4-measure intro.
I understand, but I'm suggesting what's more customary is to use the end of the section that usually turns around so that your ear has a chance to acclimate to the keys. And that it's kind of a standard way we might address that. And so it would be do 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 boo do 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 so ba ba do 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 ba da da. So you might use this as your intro, that 4 measures. And you're going to insert 4 measures up here. Okay? Insert your intro. Today you could still use this chart because we could tell them, go to this section. But if you have free time and you can fit it in, right? And then you do the song, but then they need to know what to do when they get to the end of the song. After solos, DC, AL coda, this information gets lost right there. So you like to move it here. Like right here would be the information, or you can have this measure here blank so that you have room to write instructions and move this measure here and have your coda start on a new line nice and clean. Okay? It looks good for your first try. Congratulations to you. Yay. Okay. Professor Timus? We don't hear him for a moment. Okay. Jaleesa, where was your recording? I mean, where was your song? And you were doing the chorus?
No, I did the verse, and then Tyra did a verse.
Oh, you did one of the verses. Did you finish your verse?
Yes. Yes. And then,
Okay, can you upload the verse in the timeline?
Lenora? Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful, and we'll use it. Who do we have with us online? I saw a post on. I always have 2 computers up so that I can comment and keep track of everything. Sydney posted a minute ago, rhythm melodies in C. We can look at her assignment. Rhythm melodies in C. We have a PDF and a recording. Good. So everybody was up last night doing their work. I love it. Yes? Professor Adams, were you about to say something?
No, Professor Hammond.
Okay. All right. So let's take a listen to and a look at Sidney Thomas's Rhythm Melodies in C. And while we're looking, we're going to listen. Okay, I got a little bit lost there. If I play her rhythms. Okay, that didn't seem like it started at that same place. Let me go back and do a repeat. Just kept going straight. Okay, so she put all of her recording of her assignments back to back. And because the last assignment asked you to put two of them together, it began to make a repeat of a melody so that you had a little bit of a melody part that repeated. So Kadera, can you tell us where you feel like the connection was made for the return of a melodic idea of like a snippet of a couple of the measures that appeared later?
Is there a right or wrong answer?
Well, just kind of look at it. Where do you see notes that repeat or a pattern of notes that repeat?
On the second assignment, it went away, but it looked like it was the second or third stanza.
Oh, can I share my screen again? Wanda, hi Wanda. There you are.
Okay. So for assignment 2, it would be the second stanza there.
Where do you see that repeated?
Second measure, third measure. I can't see that far. I'm sorry, second measure, fourth measure, second stanza.
You see it repeated in another assignment? You can get up and come closer to the music. Don't squint. Your eye doctor would be mad.
Okay, assignment 2. It looks like there's a repeat.
Well, one of the things we can look for is accidentals. That's always a giveaway, right? We see this phrase here. Da, ba, da, 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 right? Da. So if we look at this, if we listen to this, da, 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 right? We see that again here. Look at that. In assignment 4, because of what assignment 4 told us to. Let's go back to the assignment instructions. I reloaded them last night in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
I said 207. What?
I know. I was up studying, doing jazz arranging homework for the doctoral program. That's why I'm so perky and awake, because I've had coffee. Okay, so assignment 1 was to compose a melody in the key of C for each of the rhythms shown below. So we see that she used the rhythms that were here, but used her own pitches. Compose a melody in the key of C for each of the rhythms shown below. Start on the tonic C and end on the tonic C. So let's look. She started on C. Da! And she ended on C. And she created a couple of places where we can see that just by looking for the accidentals, they happen again here. And that phrase that's here, starting on the D, G flat, and then we have it again here. So what could seem like a random melody can actually be put into a if we, I keep wanting that, if we want to make a melody now, right? So you can put words there to it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 notes there. In this 4 measures, why don't you, she posted it in lore. Why don't you create lyric right now for her assignment 1 notes while we're working on the ladies tell us about their new discovery. Did you work on,
I have the verse
verse
1.
Verse 1, and you have verse 2, right? Okay. Do you have your computer with you?
Oh, wasn't your paper in here?
No, I didn't.
Oh, have you not been using your straw? Is your voice gone?
It's been gone.
Tyra, where's your straw? You should be walking around.
She tried to breathe on me.
You should be walking around with your straw. Remember.
Sorry.
Okay, beautiful. So let's go back to while Cordera is busy writing lyric for assignment 1 of his classmates' contribution. Then we can actually sing it. Let's go back to look and see.
Professor Hammond, can I make a quick comment regarding the melodies in C, please?
Sure.
It's a good exercise, a good melody. What I would do, also something that I commented on previously, to make it a little easier to sing, I would tend to focus on using more stepwise movement. There are quite a lot of jumps in the melody and quite a number of leaps in the melody. But to make it a little easier for a singer, I would focus on including more stepwise motion and having occasional leaps. And using leaps a little more sparingly. And also, if one has a leap, it's always good to, after the leap, move in the opposite direction and have a following note within that interval gap of the leap itself.
I think that's a good idea. And that probably, her leaps probably came from the fact that she's a jazz musician and she that may have rubbed off here. So it may be, we'll have to ask her when she comes to class. She comes to class typically at after her class that she's in now and comes around 10:40. So let's ask her that. But I think that's right. Here she did a few more steps, but the leaps a little bit, yeah. Which sometimes can make it interesting. So, but it's interesting to add that in there in the key of C, so we know that she's thinking about related keys. But very good comment, Professor Adams. So to get back to our ladies who were making the song If These Walls Could Talk from last week. Questions for the song. Good work, Jaleesa. What would the walls be saying? Why are the walls talking? Who is Atlas? If these cream-colored walls could talk, they would tell the tales of the hurt that went on in this lonely red chair, the days that made a young man feel like Atlas himself. These walls would explain what he couldn't. They would tell of all the things that were once hushed, the times when his days were emotionally slow, but also physically rushed. These walls would tell his story in a way that no one could explain, with such great detail in expressing the pain. The walls would tell a story of strength that others would tell with disdain. I love there is already rhythm within lyrics that we don't sometimes really allow ourselves to hear and see. Going to give you an example of that. There's something called melody mining, and I'm going to play a video that we listened to before that allows us to kind of understand how that process takes place. Let me, as I pull it up. So how much were you all able to get together to do the melody yet?
No.
Okay. Do you feel like you have what you need to go forward with the melody, or do you have questions? Are you stuck? Do you need ideas? Do you need a strategy? Closed mouth doesn't get fed. It's not bad to need a little bit of
help, guidance.
Not at all. That's what we're here for.
May I make a comment, Professor Hammonds, while we're listening for the melody?
Sure.
So the lyric definitely has certain rhythms that jump out just by virtue of where the rhymes are, and the rhymes aren't always in the most predictable places, and so those give you some pretty interesting rhythms. And I was wondering how on purpose that is, because I think those rhymes work out really well. How purposeful the way that you design them.
Kind of, sort of on purpose, probably not really.
Can I ask you? Did you hear it as a melodic thing, or did you know? Because it works. It kind of works as spoken word.
Yeah, I think that's in the way in which I wrote it.
There are a couple of things that bring that to mind that I'll play for you. Okay, I'm going to put this in, I found it. Yay. I'm going to put this in our timeline. And we're going to check out melody mining. It's a short video, but it's exactly what you need to think about to help you literally pull the melody out of the lyric.
All right, hey everybody, I got a hot tip for you, hot tip for writing melodies. I get a lot of people writing in asking me, how do I start writing melodies? I've run out of ideas for melodies, where can I find them? And I got this technique is just great. I call it melody mining, how to pull out melodies from the air we breathe. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at the words that we use. If you listen to the way you speak, you listen to the way I'm speaking right now, there are notes and there are rhythms hiding inside of them. All you have to do is start listening, and basically you're going to be digging for gold. If you know what you're listening for, you've got endless sources for melodies. So what's so good about melody mining? And first of all, it's extremely natural sounding. If you write your melodies based on the way that human beings speak, it's going to sound real. It's going to sound like somebody talking. It's a lot easier to sing because generally you're not going to be saying sentences in a weird way. You're not going to be throwing in crazy Celine Dion notes into the way that you speak. So if you're going to write melodies based on the way that you talk, it's going to be very simple to sing. It resonates with people. The idea is that you're speaking from your heart, you're saying words that you actually talk about, and you're communicating with someone else. And when they hear a melody that sounds like something that someone says in real life, it's going to sound more natural to someone, and it's probably going to touch them deeper. And again, that communicates better. It sounds like you're actually talking to someone. So I have a theory that a lot of people don't really subscribe to, but I really, really believe, and this helps me as I write my melodies, that what comprises a melody is 90% the rhythm and 10% the notes. The thought behind that is, there's only 12 notes, so you've got a limited number of things that you can do, and also you're in a chord, so there are some notes you can't use. So you only have a certain number of combinations that you can create out of notes. There are only so many notes that you can use. So, but with rhythm is infinite. There's infinite numbers of space and time and numbers of strikes that you can add to a rhythm. So you really, if you're thinking about melodies and creating something original and creativity, the bulk of it is going to be focused on the rhythm. And that's what's so great about melody mining, is that you're listening to natural rhythms. If you just listen to the way I'm speaking right now, there are tons and tons and tons of original rhythms to base your melodies on. So when do you want to use it? It's great for when you're stuck. You have nowhere to go. Maybe listen to what your friend is saying next door, or hit up YouTube. I'll show you how to do that, listening for the way that people talk. You can also, this is very, very useful when you write your lyrics first. If you have a big page of lyrics, this is a great way to write your melodies, because if you can say the words out loud and you can listen to the way that you're saying them, you can pull melodies out from it. And it's also really good for people who are just learning. When you're first starting out, for me, it's all about just throwing something out there, throwing something on the paper. And if you don't know how to do it, just try doing what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to show you how to do it in front of your very eyes. So let's say you don't have any lyrics, you want to write a melody, and like I said, you hit up YouTube. Something you can search for. Search for speeches. Listen for people who are passionately speaking about stuff, and you can pull all sorts of melodies from
And
it.
so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
So, ask not what your country can do for you. So, do you hear a melody in there? Ask not what your country can do for you. So I got ask not what your country can do for you. Okay, not bad, right? So what you got right there, that's a start of a melody. That's a great way to start. I mean, I just randomly picked those notes out. Those notes have no meaning whatsoever. I just pulled them out, listened to the way that the words flowed, and came up with that melody. And that's actually not so bad. Okay, so let's do another one. Another great way to find really good melodies is hip-hop. I absolutely love listening and breaking down flows and raps. If you listen, I mean, all they have to work with is rhythm, basically. They're not really hitting notes. So really all the creativity, so with them, it's like all the creativity, the melody is 100% rhythmic. So you can listen, you can really dig this stuff out. And this isn't ripping them off. You're just using this as a starting point, you know, to build your melodies on and just see if you can get some ideas. I'm not a biter, I'm a writer for myself and others. Well, I'm starting. I'm not a biter, I'm a writer. So you just kind of say it out loud. I'm not a biter, I'm a writer. I'm not a biter, I'm a writer. I'm not a biter, I'm a writer. Okay, so there's a melody. There you go. Start with that. I'm telling you, this stuff is easier than you think if you just know how to listen for it. Another really, really good example, and this is all about this is nature here, nature's music, you know. So listen for bird calls. All right. Don't laugh at me here. Uri, da 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 da. Uri, da 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 da. As you can see, we got melodies all around us. And of course, the best way to do this stuff is by working with your own lyrics. And if you've got your own lyrics written, this is really where it comes to shine. You can say the lyrics out loud, and you can listen for what the melodies are telling you. Okay, so to do this, I don't know, let's see, we'll go to Google, and, oh, well, here we go. Here's a songwriting lesson. Google is going to teach me how to write songs here.
I love it.
Okay, so let's see, what can we type in? Random words. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's just go with, I got an idea. Let's just do Google search. I'm feeling lucky. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Google search. I'm feeling lucky. Google search. I'm feeling lucky. Google search. I'm feeling lucky. Great. I love it. Don't steal that one. That one's mine. Just kidding. That one's Google's, obviously. All right. So anyways, that's the best. It's best to write with your own lyrics. So anyways, that's melody mining. Just a quick tip for you. I'm sure the more you do it, the easier it's going to come. Need inspiration? Just take a listen around you.
Okay, so that was a nice little way to think about your words that you're coming up with and just everyday things to come up with melodies. You don't have to be stuck right? It really is about using any of the strategies that we just learned there. You know, you can use random words, but it shows you the power of rhythm. So when we were just looking at Sydney's assignment, and Cordera is writing lyrics to your assignment.
Okay, cool.
Right in class at this moment. We had a couple of questions for you, Sydney. Tell us why Professor Adams noticed that you had leaps, and I posited that maybe it's because those jazz ears are working in jazz theory, because sometimes stepwise motion is easier. And I also wondered about your accidentals in the key of C, introducing those particular accidentals in the key of C.
Well, I approach this from a very mindy place. So most of this is is mostly broken chords with chromatic passing tones or diatonic passing tones.
Did you
there
have
are some neighboring tones as well, but like there's a particular measure that I know I put the upper neighbor and lower neighbor in from G. It's like G, F, A.
So did you play the chords as you were coming up with the melody, or you just came up with the melody and then you analyzed chords later?
It's like 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Someone's joining us on WebEx, and just remember to mute your background until you're speaking, okay? Okay. So that would be interesting for you to add your chords to this.
Okay.
And see what lyrics that Cordera comes up with. Before we, I want to play another video to talk about words and rhyming and rhythm before we get back to Tyra and Jaleesa's words. And Natalie, did you join us last week when we were beginning to write the lyrics?
No, I was with Mr. Brown for theory.
Okay, so Cordera and you can work on Sydney's rhythm melodies and see it's posted there. And maybe you can take the lyrics over at assignment 2 part and then come together to join. Maybe assignment 4 is your chorus or something. Or you see a repeat of the melody here where the accidentals are. Come up with what? I'm not going to give you any more instructions other than that. You have the freedom to figure out what you think is going to work based on some of the strategies we've been talking about in class. Yes?
Where do you want me to stop
at? Well, if you consider assignment 1 like verse A and assignment 2, verse A, the second A, but it comes together at assignment 4. But she has bar lines. So, Sydney, you want to tell us, were you thinking of where the bar lines are, the double bar lines? Were you thinking that as a section, or it just happened?
I was thinking that as on the little assignment sheet, 4 measure phrases.
Gotcha. Oh, those are the 4 measure rhythms.
So those are the 4 measure rhythms, and then assignment 4, it was an 8 measure thing, combining melodies from 1 and, well, we only did 1 and 2, so just combining lines from 1 and 2. So assignment 4, there's no new information in assignment 4. It's all information out of assignment 2.
Professor Timus, what do you think about the shape of her melody if we took the rhythm between the double bar lines? Maybe that's section A and this is section B.
Well, let's see.
And then this is, A prime and this is section C or something.
Can you give me 1 second to pull up the lead sheet?
Okay.
And I'll get.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, good. That's perfect. I'm going to go and listen. We're going to check out a couple more videos. I happen to be watching CBS Morning News this past Sunday. I love their show, and I'm always watching it. You never know what you're going to find out. And I learned that this gentleman, this young Puerto Rican man who lives in New York, wrote a musical called Hamilton about the president, the political figure Alexander Hamilton, who's on the $10 bill. And it's fascinating it's a rap musical.
What?
So let's check this video. Let's check these 2 videos out about it. You will not believe this. First, we got to get rid of this stupid advertisement, right?
This is Black Friday. Oh my God! Does anybody want to be part of this?
No.
When Lin-Manuel Miranda sings about the drive of the young, scrappy, and hungry immigrant, he's not singing about just any immigrant.
I am the A-L-E-X-A-N-G-E-R. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps on us endlessly.
He's singing about the man on the $10 bill, Alexander Hamilton, the revolutionary, visionary, and youngest of the founding fathers.
This is a guy who, on the strength of his writing, pulled himself from poverty into the revolution that helped create our nation and caught beef with every other founding father. I mean, there's great drama, there's a great love story, there's incredible political intrigue.
Corruption's such an old song that we can sing along in harmony, and nowhere is it stronger than in Albany. There's colonies, economies.
In other words, a life made for the stage.
Practice the law, practically perfected it. I've seen injustice in the world and I've corrected it.
Hamilton, written by and starring Miranda, is a smash off-Broadway at New York's Public Theater and is heading to Broadway this summer.
Talk less.
What?
Smile more. Don't let them know what you're against or what you're for.
It's Hamilton's life and death at the hand of Vice President Aaron Burr, put to music that's as energetic as the man and the times he lived through.
We take it as a given that hip-hop music is the music of the revolution.
The bullets out your gun, the bullets out your gun. We move undercover and we move as one. Through the night we have one shot to live another day. We cannot let a stray gunshot give us away.
Hamilton's unlikely journey to the stage began 6 years ago when Miranda, on vacation, picked up a 700-page Hamilton biography.
By the end of the second chapter, I was on Google saying, someone's already made this into a musical. How can anyone not have made this into a musical?
For Miranda, an urban sound made perfect sense for Hamilton's story.
And now you say you took it as a given that hip-hop would be the musical vernacular of the Founding Fathers.
Yeah.
Is that because of the energy?
It's because of the energy. It's because the hip-hop narrative is writing your way out of your circumstance. I joke to someone else, I think, all my favorite hip-hop songs are really good musical theater I want songs.
I want to get someplace else.
I want to get somewhere else. I want to get my corner of the sky.
That certainly describes Alexander Hamilton. Born out of wedlock in the Caribbean and abandoned by his father, Hamilton made his way to New York City at 17. Roiling with insecurity about his background, the ferociously ambitious Hamilton overcompensated with a superhuman work ethic. He was just 22 when he served as General Washington's aide-de-camp during the Revolutionary War, and 34 when he became the country's first Secretary of the Treasury.
He was the one who saw the future in a visionary flash. So at a time when Jefferson and Madison see the United States as a country with traditional agriculture and small towns, here comes this young man from the Caribbean. He foresees a country that's going to have banks and stock exchanges, corporations, factories, large cities. In other words, the country that we know today.
Ron Chernow wrote the biography that inspired Miranda.
I think that this is a classic immigrant story in terms of someone recognizing the opportunities in this brand new, turbulent, wide open society.
He's kind of the ultimate immigrant.
He's the ultimate immigrant, and he's the original immigrant. I dare say he made the greatest contribution of any immigrant in the history of the United States.
Monsieur Hamilton.
Monsieur Lafayette.
In command where you belong.
Now you say no sweat. We're finally on the field. We've had quite a run.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
Miranda, a Tony winner for his 2008 musical In the Heights, is the son of Puerto Rican immigrants.
Because your parents are immigrants, was that part of what connected you to the story of Hamilton?
Yeah. You know, my father came here same age as Hamilton. He'd already graduated college by 18, and he came with a full ride for NYU's postdoc psychology program. Didn't speak English, and learned it here while he was studying. And
he learned English while he was getting a postdoc.
Yeah.
That's ambition. That's
ambition.
drive.
That's ambition. I can't begin to aspire to that level of ambition. And writing this story has helped me understand him.
Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us today in New York City. Are you ready for a cabinet meeting? Huh?
If the cast of Hamilton doesn't sound like we imagined the founders sounding, well, it doesn't look like them either.
This is the story of America then, told by America now. It looks like America now.
Philippa Sue plays Hamilton's wife, Eliza Schuyler. Eliza's sister, Angelica, is played by Renee Elise Goldsberry.
My father, I told him that I was doing this, and he was like, who are you playing? And I said, Angelica Schuyler. And then a couple days later, he was like, how are you playing Angelica Schuyler? Did a little research, and I'm a little confused.
In the show, the Schuyler sisters sound an awful lot like the R&B group Destiny's Child.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'ma compel him to include women in the sequel.
Oceans rise.
By contrast, England's King George III has a distinctly British pop sound.
And when push comes to shove, I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love.
I just sort of plundered every idea possible to write a breakup song for King George III to the colonists.
And in the role of Hamilton's lifelong rival, Aaron Burr, Leslie Odom Jr. brings down the house with a good old showstopper. This was a time when the political could get extremely personal. Here's Hamilton, who favored more federal power, debating Thomas Jefferson, who favored states' rights.
Oh, but Hamilton forgets. His plan would have the government assume states' debts. Now place your bets as to who that benefits. The very seat of government where Hamilton sits.
Not true.
The rap battles are, I think the country should be like this. You think the country should be like that. And if you win, our country goes to ruin. So the stakes are here.
We assume the debts the union gets, a new line of credit, a financial diuretic. How do you not get it? If we're aggressive and competitive, the union gets a boost. You'd rather give it a sedative?
So it's incredible verbal dexterity that we get to employ.
So it makes perfect sense that Hamilton and Jefferson are arguing about the role of the federal government in the form of a rap smackdown.
60 seconds for Jefferson, 60 seconds for Hamilton. Cabinet response determines the win. The view from here must have been spectacular. You would have seen both.
Miranda wrote some of the musical at the Morris Jamel Mansion in Upper Manhattan, where George Washington's first cabinet met.
So you would just sit here and write?
Yeah, I would sit here and write. And I'd bring in my computer, I'd bring in my keyboard, and I'd doodle around.
Aaron Burr once lived here too. By the time he and Hamilton met on the dueling ground in 1804,
He aims his pistol at the sky.
their rivalry had hardened into enmity. Hamilton had backed Jefferson over Burr for president in 1800. Once word spread of his death,
I hear wailing in the streets.
Alexander Hamilton was mourned by the young country he helped birth.
History has its eyes on you.
His life's a journey as improbable as the musical written about him.
The way I hold a $10 bill is different because, that's my dude. I've spent 6 years trying to get in that guy's head.
What's your name, man? Alexander Hamilton.
So what an incredible opportunity to see the power of rhythm and power of lyrics, the power of story, right? We've been talking about how important that is. And you know what's interesting too, Professor Adams, when you talked about King Kong, the movie, and how politically connected that was to what was going on, and everyone in the country kind of had in South Africa. I can't wait till you complete your lecture next week on that. But it reminded me, this Hamilton musical reminded me of when you were talking about the King Kong movie, because many people don't know about the political and cultural connections to it.
Yes. What I'll do next week, I'll pick up on some of the things that I said at the previous lecture, and the reference to King Kong will also be drawn into the discussion, and then I'll take it further from there.
Beautiful. You know, what's also interesting about Alexander Hamilton is he, and then we'll have the rest of the last 30 minutes of the class to work on the student assignments that have been bubbling while we've been sitting here. But I thought it was really important for you to also see kind of how he started this idea, because it didn't come fully fledged like a musical. He read the biography on vacation. You can get your inspiration anywhere. Never underestimate the power of your interest. Just, you could be interested in cooking and you pick up a book and you find something that will give you inspiration or kernel. He was invited to the White House and he said that this particular performance we're about to see at the White House was the core of what ended up being the musical. I went online to try to find tickets to the musical. It's sold out. And scalpers tickets are like $500, $400 a seat. I'm hoping when we go in April to New York that we can figure out a way to be able to see it. I'm going to make a plea for us to be able to do that, but we'll see. But
what theater is it?
It's at the, I forget what theater it's at now, Richard Rogers Theater. It was off Broadway, now it's on Broadway. It went on Broadway July 2015.
It's better for me if it's on Broadway.
Yes, well, let us know. Okay.
My God. I'm thrilled the White House called me tonight because I'm actually working on a hip-hop album. It's a concept album about the life of someone I think embodies hip-hop, Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton. You laugh, but it's true. He was born a penniless orphan in St. Croix of illegitimate birth, became George Washington's right-hand man, became Treasury Secretary, caught beef with every other founding father, and all on the strength of his writing. I think he embodies the word's ability to make a difference. So I'm going to be doing the first song from that tonight. I'm accompanied by Tony and Grammy-winning music director Alex Lackamore. Anything you need to know. I'll be playing Vice President Aaron Burr, and snap along if you like.
So this is just with
How does a bastard orphan son of a whore and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar? The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By 14, they placed him in charge of the trade and charter, and every day while slaves were being slaughtered or carted away across the waves, our Hamilton kept his guard up. Inside he was longing for something to be a part of. The brother was ready to beg, steal, borrow, or barter. Then a hurricane came, devastation reigned, and our man saw his future dripping down the drain. Put a pencil to his temple, connected it to his brain, and he wrote his first refrain, a testament to his pain. Well, the word got around, they said, this kid is insane, man. Took up a collection just to send him to the mainland. Get your education, don't forget from whence you came, and the world is gonna know your name. What's your name, man? Alexander Hamilton. His name is Alexander Hamilton. And there's a million things he hasn't done, but just you wait, just you wait. When he was 10, his father split, full of it, debt-ridden. 2 years later, see Alex and his mother bedridden, half dead, sitting in their room, sick, the scent thick, and Alex got better, but his mother went quick. Moved in with the cousin committed suicide, left him with nothing but ruined pride, something new inside, a voice saying, Alex, you gotta fend for yourself. He started retreating and reading every treatise on the shelf. There would have been nothing left to do for someone less astute. He would have been dead and destitute without a cent of restitution. Started working, clerking for his late mother's landlord, trading sugar cane and rum and other things he can't afford.
standing for. Every book he can get his hands on, planning for the future. See him now as he stands on the bow of a ship headed for a new land. In New York, you can be a new man. The ship is in the harbor now. See if you can spot him. Another immigrant coming up from the bottom. His enemies destroyed his rap. America forgot him and me. I'm the damn fool that shot him. Alexander Hamilton. You were waiting in the wings for you. You could never back down. You always had to speak your mind. But Alexander Hamilton, we could never take your deeds from you. And our cowardice and our shame, we will try to destroy your name. The world will never be the same, Alexander. Yeah, I'm the damn genius that shot him. Thank you.
I think there are two things culturally that we can take away from the conversation about how this story, right, of someone who you probably never even thought about, but if you ever used the $10 bill in America, you have him in your pocket every day. You never knew the story behind him, but that this musician made you want to know about him and made you kind of understand the history already about him and how important he was. Did you know that he was an immigrant? And the conversation about immigration in our country now at the heat of political debate, you know, what people say, and being and working amongst each other from different countries, we all are immigrants in some way or another to each other and wherever we are, right? So it's just a really fascinating way to think about songwriting. Because when he stripped down without the musical and without the costumes on the stage, 5 years before it ever came to the Broadway, with a song with the piano and the words, with the melody or the rap and the words. That's the power you have in your hand. Yes, don't you feel powerful? Okay, powerful people, let's go back to our melody that we were working on. Any thoughts, Professor Timus or Professor Adams?
No, that's a heck of a story. Aaron Burr had a heck of a story after he shot Alexander Hamilton too. So you all might want to check that out. He was kind of disgraced based on some of his actions. But anyway, I just posted a link to the Wikipedia listing of the Federalist Papers, which is part of that what Alexander Hamilton was writing as a young man before he became one of the founding fathers. Anyway, that's up.
Awesome. That'll be good holiday reading between your holiday break, right? See, we weave. Music and songwriting is interdisciplinary. We can weave in politics and history, and the kinds of conversations that come up on the news that we don't watch, right? But you can create change and create those kinds of ideas. Okay, so I want to make sure and leave time for Professor Timus to share updates on the symposium. So where should we start first? Do we start with If These Walls Could Talk, or do we want to start with let's see what you came up with for Sydney's Melody?
We'll go with Sydney's Melody.
We'll go with If These Walls Could
See,
Talk.
I beat you to it, so now you have to go.
Whenever I see Cordera's eyes blink,
You
twice,
already know this.
You already know.
You already know.
his eyes are saying, what?
No.
What are you saying, Miss Hammonds?
Let me try to get.
Okay, we're gonna.
We're doing the lyrics first. Okay, well let me post it.
Okay.
I'll post what we got.
Okay, and I was also doing my ear training homework because I got a sightseeing test tomorrow. So I was practicing my intervals. Da, da.
Major sax.
I know. I was transposing alto saxophone from concert. I was like, upper major sixth or down a minor third. Which way do I go? Where does it sound? How do I make a unison? How do I make an octave unison? I haven't done that in 30 years. I was like, I'm glad at the internet. I found a nice little cheat sheet chart.
Oh, yeah. The internet, like, there's just no excuse. There's just no excuse to fail at anything.
Exactly. So let's sing the melody along again. Let's just remind ourselves of the melody.
Oh, MP3 and everything through MUSL, y'all.
Alexander Hamilton.
Right. Right.
Okay. Let's see.
It does sound very marchy.
Well, this is because of the way you played it. But if you played the chords, I bet if we pulled out a guitar or piano and played it, we can go blind fire, blind fire. We can put a swing to it.
That would be fun. Like if we all did a different.
Yeah, it would.
Well, do that.
I'm with you. Boo. I got you.
Like a different feel.
I'm with you.
Did you post them? Did you press post? Did you refresh your page?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I don't see it.
It takes a while. It took like 2 minutes for mine to post.
Oh. Did you do it on assignment 1?
I posted it on the timeline.
Okay. Did you do it in assignment 1? Did you do the lyrics of assignment 1? Cordera?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Oh, yeah.
Your lyrics go to which part of the assignment?
I did 1 and then some of 2, I believe.
Okay. Well, while that's posting, let's do the other ladies. It took a couple of minutes. So Tyra's lyrics, If These Walls Could Talk, she had the second verse. If these walls told of what they've seen, I wonder what they tell of me. Of others' laughs or tears or cries, if only walls had more than eyes. Nice line.
Thank you.
To say much and not speak one word, the walls will sit and never be heard. The memories they hold on every shelf, what walls exist around myself. Nice.
Thank you.
You already put rhyme in there.
Nice.
For some reason, I can't not do that and be pleased with myself. I don't know why.
Oh.
I feel you though. And then, but they can't be like tear and
Like,
hair.
I can do near rhymes. Like near rhymes are okay, but.
Which you find a lot in rap music.
Yes. Yeah.
And some folk music. Like Joni Mitchell, bows and flows of angel hair, the and dwelled into you care, under the canyons everywhere. I looked at clouds that way. I looked at clouds from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow, she does rhyme a lot in it. This cloud illusions I recall. But in her song, help me, I think I'm falling in love again. Every time I leave this feeling, I know I'm in trouble again. That's not rhyming.
Guess what I saw today rhymes a lot too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm like immersed in that song.
So beautiful. When are we going to hear melody, ladies? We need melody.
We do. You got the chorus, Cindy?
Well, you see, I got the words to the chorus.
She said, what is it that he can't explain? Why can the walls do a better job than he can? What does he do that causes him to rush?
And I'll be there soon.
Okay, well, ladies, we need this song. Okay, let me see if
it's a masterpiece. We need to get this copyrighted.
Oh, yeah, don't procrastinate, because procrastination won't get you anything and never end.
So she's gonna be a rapper for the rest of the day. That's what we've decided. Miss Hammonds is gonna be a rapper for the rest of her day, guys.
Nah. What's my name gonna be? Big Puff.
Dr. Mom. Instead of Dr. Dre, Dr. Mom. Yeah, see? See? Dr. Mom. That's a thing.
Professor Adams and Thomas, help me. They're calling me Dr. Mom.
Dr. Zen.
Dr. Zen. Dr. Zen. Dr. Zen. That's her name.
Wow, and then look at this. They already put it.
Oh.
Look at this.
Well, just look at y'all.
You're just a youth score
guru.
Yeah, he's on it now.
Okay. Awesome.
We didn't even have to send it to you.
Let's check this out. You ready?
Good job.
Yeah. Miss Wanda, you have to put the camera on the students. They are dancing to the melody.
Students again. Play it again, we got this.
Okay, are we going to sing it again? Let's do it one more time.
Okay, here we go.
Because I love the silly things that you do.
Y'all are so excited.
Now, how does that feel to be able to do that on the spot?
I can write nursery rhymes.
Well, there is a
we'll make money off nursery rhymes.
Children's music. You know, it's a whole category. When you see there are people who earn Grammy awards, and there's a whole category of children's music that you may have never thought about.
Really? But they don't show that on the TV, though.
They show a lot of the
They don't show a lot of
They don't show the jazz on the TV either.
Yeah.
They don't show
but
classical.
all these millions of kids gonna be walking around singing your song.
Right.
That's
Who
money.
cares about if they see you on TV or not? If you have the ching ching in the bag.
Yeah, like I didn't know that even was part of the Grammys. Like I learned over the years, like how much was actually in the Grammys, but I had no idea of the jazz thing until I didn't know about a lot, you know what I'm saying?
And it's
so
weird
I was
because
really
it's like
blind.
at the end of the Grammys, like they mix it in with the credits. Like people who also won awards, like at the bottom of the
Do
screen.
they really?
Yeah, because I know they have a gospel section and they don't air it, like Ty Tribbett, and I think Shirley Caesar won an award for like one of the songs that they made together, and it was never aired. And
wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing. So you're not thinking of the awards, you're thinking of what moves you and what inspires you.
Yeah.
Right.
People are always having children. You'll never go out of work.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Making nursery
Providing,
rhymes and
writing
children's
children's
books and
music,
stuff.
writing, there's a whole genre there. And if you have a penchant for that, Kadera, if that's something that comes easy to you, that's an avenue to think about. So, good. We covered everything that we said on our agenda today. Professor Thomas, do you have any updates for us?
Well,
next week we get to choose the song.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything that's changed over here. But I would like to ask if anybody has written a song that you'd like to submit, or that you'd like us to check out. Anything that you? Okay.
I'd like to submit this.
Tyra's sitting on some songs.
Oh.
I happen to know Tyra's sitting on some songs because I eavesdrop on her Facebook page now and then. I don't know why she's so shy in class. Anyone online on WebEx who's joining us? If you're going to submit songs for us to listen to, or you have questions, speak up or type it in the timeline. And I'll send you a couple of things then, Timus. Did he freeze? Yep. Oh, he's frozen.
What was he doing?
I don't know.
I know, right?
Sorry, I got cut off.
Oh, there you are.
So, well, so I'd be interested in. So, Tyra, how about those songs you're sitting on?
I can't finish them. Most
You
of
can't
them
finish
are
them?
okay. It's like it's my music, but they're covers. So all I have to do is take that music that I've already made and like write original lyrics to them. Cause that's how my process is. I'm sorry.
So you said
We're proud of your process.
We're proud of your process. We are definitely proud of your process.
so
It's
it's
a
your
process
music
that
that's covered.
Yeah,
Your
okay,
music
so
that's
what I
covered.
would do is like, okay, I covered Coldplay's Yellow, and it's my music. So
Okay.
what I did is I made the music, and then I was like, oh, this will go nice with Yellow by Coldplay. So what I did was I kind of like tweaked the music to fit around the verses and the choruses and the bridges, and then I sang the song. So it's like the music is still mine.
So let
but
me.
I just,
So just so I understand. So you took the basic structure of what they had, and you wrote a new melody.
no,
You wrote new.
I kept
Okay.
I kept the lyrics and the melody, well, kind of the same with the melody.
But you have chords that you can now put a new melody on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So you
And
got some new chords.
everyone is different. Everyone
Sure.
is different. Like some
Yeah.
there's one that I made that was almost just like the original music for the song. There's some that is my music, but I made the chords. I used the same chords as the original song. Or there's one that is like completely different chords, completely different everything, but you just know the song because you've heard it before. The one that the lyrics.
Well, work on them, and bring a couple of them. Email them to me.
Okay.
And then we can email them to Professor Timus. Okay?
Okay.
So, ladies, you have next week, when we have our visitors who are going to be in class with us from Denmark and New York, and then we'll have faculty people from all across the UNC system joining us on WebEx. You will have songs that we can play in class. Completed things. Is that a big enough hint?
Yes. The 17th.
That's next Tuesday, right? Because then after next Tuesday, we just have one more class where we kind of do a reflection. Half the class next week is listening to your new songs. Half the class is Professor Adams completing his lecture. So we come full circle, all right? So get to work. Any closing thoughts or comments, Professor Adams or Timus?
No. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Professor Hammond, I'll post some things on law in preparation for next week's lecture.
Okay, wonderful. We're looking forward to it.
And I'll also try and arrange the video conference facility for next week.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good week.
Okay, thank you.
Two.
Bye-bye.
Find tickets to Alexander Hamilton.